military that much again in the future. We cut it by a third. We let our intelligence capabilities wither to an extent that was dangerous for us. Research and development, things of that nature, will cut back substantially. Procurement, we're paying the price for that today, but we were able to turn that back around toward the right direction. Need to adhere to those same principles again, my friend. Our problem since that time is not because we haven't come up with new and novel new ideas to approach things. It's because we've deviated from the principles that has worked so well for us and for our country. Now, every few years we're presented with another set of issues, things that are on the table, and a lot of them we can talk about. We're going to have a chance to talk about that many times that I'm going to be here. I was proud when Randy mentioned the fact that Judge Roberts, and the President called on me and asked me to help Judge Roberts get through the Senate confirmation process. And now he's Chief Justice, John Roberts, and I think he'll be one of the best, if not the best, that we've ever had in this country. So important. But it reminded us, again, of the importance of these justices and the fact that we need people on the Supreme Court who will interpret the law and the Constitution and not make it up as they go along. We're presented with an immigration issue, which is not really an immigration issue, it's an illegal immigration issue. It's not only a question of fairness to those who have come here and stood in line and made such sacrifices to be productive citizens and a part of our society. It's not only unfair to them, it's also a national security issue. In an era of the suitcase bomb, we cannot have open borders. We need to understand that a nation that cannot secure its borders will ultimately not remain a sovereign nation. And that's what all this is about. We can work out the details after we secure the borders. But the American people said to the politicians back a few months ago, don't just talk about the securing the border. Don't pass another law like you did before saying that you're going to. Just go ahead and do it. And then come and talk to us and we'll have another conversation about other issues. One of the things that I know is important to Iowans, and it's important to the rest of us, has to do with the issue of same-sex marriages. You've had another court decision here, like the court decision that happened in Massachusetts a while ago. I like to say that it's not a same-sex marriage issue. It's a judge issue. It's another example of judges interpreting what is before them in ways that suit their own sociological needs and not with regard to anything that's in the Constitution or the laws that they're interpreting. I've proposed a particular solution to that.
Hear, hear.
Excuse me. I've taken a look at that and tried to come up with a solution that I thought addressed the problem. Judge-made law. There's not a state in the country where the state legislature and the governor signed off on one of these bills. It's not a matter of the political process working in a way that we don't like. It's a matter of judges interpreting the laws and constitutions in new and novel ways. Back when I was in the Senate, I voted for a bill that would say that one state would not have to recognize another state's law if they passed such a law or it was interpreted to allow same-sex marriages. And that goes to a certain extent in a good direction. But I would propose a constitutional amendment that would not only do that, but would say that these judges could not interpret the law to mean that. Marriage is between a man and a woman, and has been since the dawn of civilization. Nobody really thought that it was an issue in this country until judges decided that it was again. And it says that if states, legislatures, it still allows local communities and local states and their governors, if they decide they want to go in that direction, they can go in that direction. But as I said, not one has ever done it. I can't imagine the people of Iowa or the people of Tennessee or the people of anywhere else would ever go in that direction. What it does is that it addresses the problem, which is judicial-made law, and says you can't do that anymore. It also preserves the principles of federalism. that we got back to earlier. That's a good, sound, constitutional, conservative position to maintain that will work more in our favor in the long run than if we totally do away with the principles of federalism in our country. Solves the problem, still preserves the principle. I think that's a responsible approach to take. A couple of things that underlie everything else that we're doing in this country. Issues are plentiful. We certainly have healthcare cost issues. We have education issues. A lot of these things can be addressed by the principle we've been talking about. Freedom and competition and being able to choose your own solutions in terms of these economic issues and things of that nature. Yeah, we'll have an opportunity to discuss those things. I'm primarily concerned about the security of this country and the future prosperity of this country and the unity that we're going to need to do the things that we need to do. Unity that we're not showing today. The issue right now in many people's minds is Iraq. The issue is much, much broader than that. We have had war declared against us by radical Muslims. They have no rules. They have no timetable. They are intent on bringing down Western civilization and bringing down the United States of America. And if they can kill a million innocent people in the process, they're more than willing to do that. We need to understand that the primary issue here is not tactics or strategy with regard to a particular place on the globe today. The issue is what kind of signal are we going to send to the rest of the world? It's going to be one of weakness or strength, of division or cohesiveness as a people. That in turn is going to define our security for a long, long time to come with regard to any front where we choose to draw the line with them. We have to keep that in mind first and foremost as we go through this difficult time, in a time when it does look like we're showing progress and we're going to have the opportunity to leave some stability there, which will be better for the long-term security of this country because it will keep Iran out of there from taking over the whole place and provide a new sanctuary for terrorism that would be with us for a long, long time. On our prosperity front, on the economic front, I've got a radical idea. Let's keep doing what works and quit doing what doesn't work. This administration inherited an economy that was going into recession. We had the dot-com bubble burst on Wall Street. We had Wall Street scandals. We had September 11. But we also had tax cuts in 2001 and 2003 that encouraged people to go out and work and invest and save and do all those things that grow the economy. We've had 22 successive quarters of economic growth. That works. That's what works. We've seen it work back in the 1920s. We've seen it work during President Kennedy's administration, Reagan's administration, and now this one again. We can't afford the big tax hikes that the Democrats have in mind. More and more people going into the alternative minimum category. You know, really designed for the rich. The only problem is, according to their category, anybody that works for a living is rich. And that's their targeted tax cuts. Don't stand close to the target anywhere. You're going to get hit, whether you're supposed to be or not. You can't let that happen. What doesn't work is the fact that we're on a spending path, locked in mandatory spending that they don't even appropriate on a year-to-year basis, that every economist in the country says is unsustainable. Unsustainable. The primary threat to the prosperity of this nation is a path that we're on. If nothing else changes, that is unsustainable. We are blessed with the fact that we're living a little longer. We have better health, lets us live longer and more productive lives. And my mama and I have a chance to discuss this from time to time down in Franklin, Tennessee. The other side of the equation is that we have proportionately fewer workers paying into this process, and the numbers just don't coincide. The few things that we can begin to do, primarily coming together and realizing we have to do something, Democrats and Republicans, that will make sure that we don't have to face people with drastic cuts and astronomical tax rate raises, which is what's going to happen down the road. Politicians want to kick the can down the road and leave it somebody else's watch as we spend our grandchildren's money and future generations' money.